What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Our Streamers Cheaters. Today we are actually going to be rehashing a video from somebody on YouTube who has given me permission to actually re-upload this. The reason for it is because I feel that this video needs as much exposure as possible. He makes some extremely valid points from somebody with a bachelor's degree in IT as well. So everything that he is stating in this video comes from a professional standpoint based on what I can see. I will be linking the original video in the description below, as well as in the pinned comments down below too. So guys, I would appreciate it if you could also go and show Hoppin' Dude some support. Hit that subscribe button for him, guys. If you do enjoy this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up and get the video shared. Thank you. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BadBoy Beaman. It's the best place for you guys to contact me about any streamers, no matter how big or small, if you believe they are cheating. Right, let's crack on with the video.
Alright, I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible. I'm Hoppin' Dude. Probably never even heard of me. But anyway, going off of BadBoy Beaman's video and a video by somebody else that does hacking. What is his name? Atomic Hacks. So anyway, piggybacking off of them, I'd like to go through and use my professional background to potentially clear some of this stuff up. And I'll get to my background at the end of the video. So right now, let's get more into the meat and potatoes of things. So let's see. Start off with some comments from the recent video, going off of what BadBoy Beaman just pulled up. So here we go. He's talking about how the install date is different than the created date of the file, etc. Trying to say, oh, hey, you know, it shows that it was installed on this date, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. No, it does mean. Whatever this says here is when it was installed. There is a way to modify that. 2 ways, I believe. I'm not going to say what they are, but every single one of them I've seen in the comments section, not one of them is even remotely close. So anything you've seen in the comments at this point, and I've scoured them, none of them know what they're talking about. So let's see. I'll go through and dig around on my PC for a installed game. Let's see, do I have, yeah. Alright, so GOG games Cyberpunk. Alright. This is my Cyberpunk game. Editor programs, Cyberpunk, I guess. Alright, here you go. No. Let's see. Cyberpunk. 6/17 is when it was installed. And I believe there was an update again on the 6th. No, I played it again on the 6th. So aside from that, you'll see that there are different dates on all these files. The reason why there's a different date, it's an attribute date, the last time it was modified, not when it was installed. So this over here is an install date. This here is a modified, an attribute date. So that's why sometimes you'll have an application that has some older files in it and some newer ones, because it's only going to update the files that have recently been updated. So if you work in the IT field and you go through and you do backups, you're not going to do a full backup every single time. You're going to do incremental backups. So you're going to check the attribute bit, see if there's been any modifications since the last time. When it does compare, it's going to take the files that have recently been modified and it's going to collect those and only update those. Again, otherwise known as an incremental backup. So this whole thing about saying, oh, hey, you know, that's not the real install date on it. No, it's that a couple of months ago is when MUTEX installed that. So that date on MUTEX 3.15, that's when he installed it. Cronus Pro, 100%. There's only 2 ways to modify that, and you ain't smart enough to figure it out. BB needs more accused MUTEX of having Cronus Max, not Zen, Max. When he has a Cronus Pro. Yeah, so the Cronus Pro software, I believe from their website, Cronus Pro. Let's see, Cronus Pro only works with the Cronus Max, plus version 3 only, discontinued. So, yeah, go, whatever you're doing, you keep doing it, buddy. You're a special one. Let's see. All right, the other thing is, if he had just used it to go through and put it in tourney mode, these wouldn't be open like this. This is like when you go into your computer and you modify registry files. If you close out of it, you restart your computer and you open it back up, it has a memory of what you drilled down into the last time you were looking into your registry files in Microsoft. So this application is doing the same thing. So whatever script he had that he loaded onto it, this is where they were at. So him saying, "Oh, hey, I haven't opened this in forever," and "Oh, it's only used for tourney mode." Well, he doesn't need a file to put it in tourney mode. So 100% bullshit. My SteelSeries software I have for my headphones since I got them, which was last year. However, my control panel install date says 22/6/2021. That's because there was an update for it. It's probably a full software update. And if that's an update that Microsoft sends out because there's some type of kernel level intervention between Microsoft and SteelSeries application you have, that's going to update it. It's possible to have auto update on PC, so it's probably updated itself. Cronus Pro isn't going to update. I remember somebody else posted another comment saying that CC Cleaner updated it for him. No, that's a cleaner that removes stuff. That doesn't update. And then somebody else said driver updater. It did the update. There's no... Cronus Pro isn't a driver. It is an application that allows the storing of scripts on a device. It doesn't tell it how to work. It interacts with it as a storage medium. It's a bit different. You have to plug your controller into your Cronus, which has to be on a PC. Has the programs on it. It's on a stream PC. Fucking love it. So, okay. That's where you program it. Once you've done programmed it, you flip through them. You have your input from your controller and your output. I'll get to a little bit more on that. But hey, look. It's just plugged in line to being used with controller by some random user. So it doesn't need to be plugged in and on the software 24/7. You load the file onto it. It has a script, just like if you have a mouse that can take any type of script. You load it and you go. That's it. So you flip between whatever you have on your scripts for your configs for your player. Those are the ones you change to, so you have the proper weapon for that script. And if you don't have your loadout that matches that config for that script, then you just turn it off. And you do that by a certain button press, whatever you tell it in the software. So, yeah. Pretty sure I'm not the Muppet here. Cronus Pro software is just for loading scripts to the Cronus USB device. When scripts are loaded, you just plug the USB device. Hey, somebody gets it. All right. Let's see. So I made this meme for a reason. Because you can go through and plug from the motherboard USB header, and it looks very similar to the cable that's in the case. Tuck this behind, plug it in, plug it into another adapter coming off to a motherboard header to the front USB ports. Now the reason I go through and I say that, and I show this, is for a reason. Let's see. Now we get into the from the MUTEX to the ZLANER. So first off,
a bit of a longer section. That's just because it's going to take some
task manager, ZLANER, really?
time to go through all this stuff.
All right, I got this saved at another point, another one.
And show you guys first and foremost that
So he
this
goes through.
wireless controller, which is just my normal.
He's got his controller. He
right
shows
here.
it's
I'll pull it
plugged
down here,
in. He
go
shows
back
that when he
in.
disconnects it, it disconnects and it reconnects.
US that I've been using for months and months. You can see the stick.
Then he
here is,
goes
like,
through and he
worn
says,
down.
"Hey, I'm gonna go
So
through
we
and
can
hook up a brand new
get
controller."
rid of- We'll toss this over here, and I'll what I
Oh wait, somewhere in there he went through and
properly. You see,
he unplugs it and plugs it back in.
using aimbot, wall hacks, whatever it may be, and in this video.
If I can stop skipping around for a second.
Toss this over here. Boom. All that. Strike here. So, here. Works.
So he unplugs it
So a regular.
and plugs it right back into the same front USB header. Same USB header. Alright, so anyway, again, it just has to have it in line, plugged in, and that's it. So all he's got to do is just have basically take this cable or one similar to it, hook it up into the side port where you can configure it or program it, and basically run it out the back somewhere off to the side where it's not visible. And then you can use another device to sit there and upload the config file to it and go. That way, if you place another game that looks for this software, to flag it and to ban that account, he doesn't have to worry about it. He uses it on a different computer. Similar to MUTEX, it's on a server, not on his actual gaming PC. The software and the device don't have to interact. I have a booting keyboard. I can go through and put it into analog mode. That's my analog mode. So if I go through, I'll put it back in regular. And I type. As soon as I put it in analog mode, it doesn't type because it's registering as a controller. So, closest device that I have in my inventory of everything that would be construed as a cheat device. I believe for a while that Rust would not allow you to use a wooting keyboard while running their game and having the anti-cheat enabled. Alright, so we talked about MUTEX, we talked about ZLANER and how you can easily hide a Cronus Max device within your case and still say, oh hey, look, I'm legit. Whether or not he's doing it, I don't know, but man, the guy has so many sus moments. His physical awareness is just through the fucking roof. You can only have so many coincidences before it's like, hey, you know, something funny's going on here. Alright, so Tim struggles to get 8 kills a game and you think he's out here cheating. Who cheats to get 8 kills? If he cheats and got a 40 kill game, it'd be all over YouTube. He literally lives off of content, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this other guy went through and did a video. And he does actually uses cheats. So let's go ahead and do full screen here. So right here he's observing Tim the Tatman. And he's got walls on and he's observing him. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll explain my history, my background, and what I do for a living after this. What you're seeing right here is real-time data being sent between player A and player B to a server. And it uses UDP, not TCP. So it's sending and receiving packets, but it doesn't care if you miss one. That's why when you're playing somewhere up here in the corner, you'll see, like, you know, packet loss is one of your things out there. Metrics if you have it enabled, along with, you know, your frames per second and stuff. So what we're watching right here is real-time data. So where it shows that player's skin on that player's skeleton is exactly where that player is in the game. So if that skeleton moves, that's the server sending data back saying this is where this player is on an X, Y, and Z axis. That's all the game cares. The server doesn't see anything graphically. It just has a skeletal structure and a non-GUI format and knows where everything is. It knows if there's an obstruction between two players. It knows when there's not. So as of right now, this application that the player is using, the one observing, and I would have to say Tim the Tap Man, is basically reading packets as they come to and from their PC with the player data, and if he has his crosshairs close enough to this player hitbox, that it's going to alter the data sent out and it's going to register the hit. And I'll explain that in a second, a little bit further. So we're going to go ahead and slow this down to 0.25 speed. And we're going to play. It doesn't matter if there's audio on or not. So he sees him now. Well, let's wait for a second. But that player starts shooting at him. He comes back to him. He backs up. Sees where the bullets are coming from. So then he starts to engage. So he's off of the player hitbox by a decent margin. Alright. No hits, no hits. Gets to him, he starts registering hits. That is exactly how a player hit should register. What you're seeing right now is how a player hit should register. But then all of a sudden, something gets a little funky here. He's not on the hitbox anymore. He's a ways off. And he's registering hits? No. You don't go from being on the player hitbox registering hits to being almost a full player's hitbox away registering hits. That's 3 shots, 4 shots, and he's making a distance. So from where you see that, where you see him right here, to where he's at right here, that is just increasing, that distance, and he's still registering shots. Now he's breaking them through a wall, and he's not even on a player hitbox. So you saw that first shot, the first few shots, where he was on a player hitbox and was registering, and now he's almost a full player's hitbox away and still registering shots. That does not mathematically compute at all. At this point, he's now just... He went from shooting and actually making shots register that he wasn't even on. And I believe it actually shows that he's got 1 spectator up here. So at this point, he's like, I better disengage and make it seem like I'm just tracking him through the wall. He probably wasn't counting on somebody with walls being turned on to be able to show that he's using something to register hits that should never have been registered. So I gotta say, just from this small little clip right here, Tim the Tap Man's got something to explain. I mean, that is, I know when it's just one moment, but when it's as clear as that, something funky's going on. Alright, so yeah, I'm sorry, bud, but yeah, that's clear as day. He's got something going on there. Alright, so a little bit about me. Started playing games when I was 13. I'm now in my late 30s, so to say. And I've had some time in the IT field. So started playing games when I was 13 with games like Rocket Jockey, then got an Unreal Tournament. Then I got into the original Counter-Strike. Played locally with some friends. And one evening when I was knifing people and winning match after match, for some reason your hitbox didn't really register very well on Counter-Strike V1.3 if you were jumping around, and so I could get close to people and knife them. And finally one guy stood up and jokingly he was like, "Damn you hopping dude," and the name just stuck. So that's why my name is Hoppin' Dude, or it's my gamer tag at least. Career wise, I have been in an enterprise space for over 10 years now. I do hold a bachelor's degree in IT, and the last company that I worked for over 5 years, I dealt with exchange data, and I would basically have to help troubleshoot network related issues sometimes if there were latent issues with the data. So ergo, I have a lot of time working with how network data traverses. So with that last little bit there with Tim the Tatman, there's something extremely suspect going on. I don't know how else to tell you or any other fan, but that's not normal. That's not natural. The server tells you exactly where that player is, and it was telling that person, Tim the Tatman, that that player was X over, and he's shooting right here. The only way you can actually make a correlation between projectile going from A to B and somehow interjecting with that player is if you have an application that is modifying outgoing packets to register that hit. That is what it is. That's kind of how data works. So the server is not making miscalculations. That was an application altering data. Just like it would for locking onto a player. It's going to readjust the person shooting, and it's going to alter it. Well, I guess that's it. Deuces. Ask questions in the comments.
Well, there we have it, guys. I hope you did enjoy the video. It was very informative, I thought, personally, and I hope you guys did as well. It really breaks down things from a professional standpoint. And I definitely think it is a good thing to have somebody who has a bachelor's degree in IT actually give their opinion on the matter. If you did enjoy the video, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. If you want to support the channel further, hit that blue join button today and become a member of the Triple B fam. And don't forget, guys, go and support Hoppin' Dude on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button for him. This is his original video and he's gave me permission to re-upload it. So I would love it if you guys could go and show some support to his channel. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BadBoy Beaman. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!